Okay, so Love is Blind Sweden episode 2, the breakdown. A lot of people in this episode got disappointed. A lot of people got let down. A lot of people got broken up with. The first thing that we have here is, as much as I thought Sergio was a douche in episode 1, he full on confirmed it in episode 2. So in episode 2, I guess Amanda, the girl that is the one that he's talking to, opens up about how she was bullied in school by how she looked. Not even like, I think she wore like a back brace or something like that. It wasn't even like her face, but just, she had braces on. And she talked about she was vulnerable. And I would say normally in Love is Blind, when any person shows that vulnerability, it's normally that moment where the music gets all emotional and they have a connection and it allows them to become that much more connected. And this was not the case. This was not the case with this. Instead, Sergio is thinking like, well, dang, maybe I should break up with her because she might be ugly. Like, what? Like, what? First and foremost, Sergio is one of the most unattractive guys on this whole season. The audacity, the nerve. And what's so funny is even the men said the same thing. They were like, you're kind of ugly. Like, they said it jokingly, but I know they meant that. They were like, look, dude, you're kind of unattractive. So any woman you get from this show is a godsend. I know people say also that the first step of any problem is acknowledging that you have a problem. And Sergio admits he's a shallow person. But it's like, it doesn't make it any better. The fact that he acknowledges that he's shallow and still has the nerve to even like say this on like TV is crazy. Now, eventually Sergio gets over this, and I just feel as though, even though he kind of talked to Amanda about this, maybe this is editing, but he did not say what he said to the guys. He just said to Amanda like, oh, I was getting cold feet. I was just in my head. I was having doubts. I was having fear. But I just was screaming to the screen like, well, tell her why. Tell her why you have those doubts. Because trust and believe, like, the average person, if they would have heard that in the pods, would be like, nah, you're very shallow. But the fact that but honestly, now that I think about it, I get the feeling Amanda still would have stayed even if he would have been completely honest about those types of fears, that, his shallowness, because he legit lied. He legit lied to Amanda about talking to other girls, and then she was still like, I'm still gonna stay. Like, so I don't think it's too far-fetched that Amanda would have still stayed. And this actually leads me to my other concern with Amanda and Sergio, because eventually they do get engaged, they do see each other, is that what I'm concerned with is Amanda is kind of the goody two-shoes. She comes from a pastor father. Just by the way she dresses so far on the show is a bit more conservative. The way she looks, it's very demure. Like, it's not the overtly sexual type of stuff that we sometimes see. And I don't want to stereotype Sergio, but the man is half Barcelonian and half Colombian. And so overtly sexual machismo culture is just something that is a part of those two particular cultures. And so what I'm really scared of with Sergio is that he will start to get a wandering eye. I'm scared that he will see some of the other women from the pods who are a little bit more sexual or a little bit more open about their sexuality and start to either covet or kind of want those types of women, or start to compare those women with Amanda and be open about that to Amanda, and what that could potentially do, just given Amanda's temperament and just maybe certain things that she's talked about. I'm scared that's gonna really mess with her self-esteem. And Amanda's too good for Sergio. And it just hurts me thinking that some guy that even looks like Sergio, like, look at him, man. The man literally was like popping out of his shirt. Like he tried to wear a shirt that was literally a size too small. Like, so to let someone like that with a rotten personality, a shallow personality, and who looks like average, especially for this show, it really irks me. And I'm really hoping that it works out with them, or I just hope that Amanda's self-esteem is left intact by the end of this show. What really also concerns me about Sergio is he was very open about his shallowness and his fear of how his partner looked to the other men in the pods. Almost just, I don't want to say like bragging, but just being very obnoxious and very talkative about it. And this low-key is reminiscent of Shake from, I want to say, Love is Blind USA season 4. And for those of you who did not watch this season or don't know who I'm talking about, Shake was this Indian guy who was not attracted to his partner, and made it very well known to everybody that would listen, to his mom, to all the guys in the pods, texting them and talking about it incessantly. Like, that was his storyline, unfortunately. And the damage that did to, I think her name was Deepti, is just crazy. And it just was so disrespectful. And so what I'm really hoping is that Sergio is not this type of person, and that Sergio is actually attracted to Amanda and respects Amanda, and that he is not like, he doesn't turn into Shake 2.0. Because if he does, we ride at dawn. Like, no, another woman will not be disrespected like this on TV. Okay? Okay, so moving on from Sergio. Like I said before, this episode was an episode full of disappointments, which leads me to talk about Christopher. First and foremost, Christopher, I find attractive, okay? He's not everybody's cup of tea, but I say he is an attractive man who I will say is one of the most emotionally intelligent men thus far in the season. A few other guys called out Sergio, but Christopher was one of the main dudes who was really just like talking about it and saying how wrong it really was. And I really loved that for him. Now, it was a little bit weird, the gift that he gave Katya. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of weird. It was kind of like, oh, okay, that's nice. And that should have been an indication a little bit to Katya about his personality and how he might look like. Because immediately when Katya met Christopher, and it sounds like they even go together, Christopher and Katya, you know, the cute little C names. Katya's not attracted to him. She's not. She said it herself. This is not the type of guy that she goes for. She goes for more of the sporty, athletic type. She's not into the sensitive, little artsy guy who dyes his hair type. So I'm really interested to see how this goes too. So I know I talked about Sergio a little bit, but I'm really curious to see how Katya will act, hopefully respectfully, once she starts seeing some of the other guys who might be a little bit more athletic. We do get a little bit of this Oscar, Mira, and like Johan love triangle. I don't really care too much for it. I see what they're trying to do here with this little storyline. I mean, they both are attractive to me. I don't care. I like my bald men. So I also like an Oscar. Am I saying that? Is it? No. Am I saying him right? I'm mixing up the names, but there's one who's kind of bald and looks kind of scruffy looking. I like him. And then there's also one that's a little bit more leaner, whatever. I like him too. I like them both. So whichever one she chooses, I mean, go ahead. But they were not the most exciting people of this episode. But yeah, stay tuned as I review episode 3. But yeah, let's discuss. What do you think? Do you think Sergio is a red flag? Do you think Katya will stay with what's his name? Christopher, the sensitive Christopher? Who do you think Mir is gonna choose? I do not know. I kind of don't care, which one. But yeah, stay tuned, guys. I'm really excited for episode 3. All right, bye.